You can come fishing with us next week on Hooked International.
Not only in local club competitions, but national competitions as well. So knows the water and knows what he's capable of doing on it.
An impressive pedigree, this man.
Yes, he's the present Danish champion, now having won it 3 times.
Didn't do that well, though, in Ireland, as I recall.
None of the Danes did, so they're out to prove that that was just a bad day in Ireland, and obviously this competition is doubly important to them with it being on their own waters.
Now a member of the combined side, England's Richard Borley.
26-year-old groundbait manufacturer from Waltham Abbey in Essex. A good river angler because he fishes the River Lee and the River Thames down in the south regularly and gets a lot of good results down there.
We recognise him, of course, from our final last year, where he did particularly well.
He's doing well now. There's a bream I think he's into. Yes, he came second in the competition last year, having just been pipped by Wolfgang Kremkes.
Carlo Jeppesen, another member of the Danish team, and perhaps also another member of the host side who's smarting over that defeat in Ireland last year.
Gained a lot to prove, hasn't he? 34-year-old quality control inspector from Nyborg, who's been the Danish champion and has also won many other championships in Denmark, so a very, very good angler.
Ireland looking for a 4th member of their contingent to go through to our final, and their hopes resting on their solitary representative today, Bill Lawler.
From Leishan Island, Derek, 35-year-old man who's a news agent, grocer, auctioneer, valuer and real estate agent. But a good angler. He's won the Irish Championships. He was runner-up in the Irish Championships last year, fished for Ireland on 2 occasions in the World Championships, so a very, very good angler, and fishes the rivers over in Ireland a lot.
Seems to be a solid, steady sort of a character, and somebody who has, in fact, been motivating the rest of the Irish contingent.
He's really become their team manager, hasn't he, over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and he's always been there, encouraging the lads along.
The Danish team manager, Henrik Bak-Nielsen.
42-year-old electronic engineer from Silkeborg, who's actually been advising us on venues to use for this series. So he's chosen this water, so anything that goes wrong, it's his own fault.
Indeed, he's actually been lucky enough to draw his favourite peg on it.
He said to me this morning that if he could pick a favourite peg on the Gooden system, this was it.
Well, I don't know what Danish for a grueler is, but I suspect he's having one at the moment.
He is, but there is a problem out in that swim. Somebody's been fishing here before and left a lot of line in there, and every time he gets a fish, it gets tangled up in the line that's already there, and he's lost a lot of tackle and 2 or 3 bream as well.
One of the stars of English angling now, and a member of our combined side, Tommy Pickering.
Right at the beginning of the programme, Derek, I said we'd got some top-class anglers with us, top-class river anglers, and there's no doubt that Tommy's right at the top of that pile. He's a 31-year-old tackle dealer from Barnsley. Since we met him last time in Newark on the programme, which was 2 years ago, he's now married, he's got a young daughter, settled down. He's the team captain for the strong Barnsley Blacks side. He's been a member of the England squad who won the World Championships and won many, many more big championships as well. So a very, very highly rated angler.
I noticed that amongst his sports and pastimes, he lists gardening, washing nappies and housework. A beautiful stretch of water with good fish too, but not for the exclusive use of anglers. This is the Danish version of Henley Regatta.
Keep this side. Keep this side. Diese Seite, please. Diese Seite, bitte. Hvor mange kommer der flere end jer? Her. Seite, bitte.
And if that wasn't enough, what looked like the advance party for Hiawatha's birthday started paddling downstream as well. And there's more.
But he's got another way around. Look at that.
It's an Irish way around.
Eventually, the canoes started arriving by themselves. Eventually, this one was retrieved, and a young lad was sent on his way with fatherly advice from the anglers, and he was probably too young to understand. No great harm done, but on balance, no canoes is good news.
Tom, on a peg that you didn't fancy this morning,
No, well, I'm not a very good drawer at pegs, so I finished it with peg 1.
you said, didn't you, that one peg that you didn't want was number 1?
We've practiced it and we haven't caught a lot of fish off this one. And we've caught in the bigger bays further downstream, but there is a few fish here today, fortunately.
A few. How many have you had now?
7. I think that's a few from Yorkshire, 7.
Listen, since we last saw you on the programme, which is 2 years ago in Newark, you're now a married man with a youngster.
Yes, happily married now and settling down, changing nappies and everything.
You put that down as one of your pastimes.
Oh, I love watching people do it, it's lovely.
Oh, you don't do it yourself?
Oh, no, I love watching people do it. Smashing.
Have you had a go yourself?
Yes, and it's just like mixing ground beef.
What sort of effect has it had on the fishing,
Well, obviously...
now that you're married? Because I know that before you were out every moment that you could spare, weren't you?
Obviously, it slowed me down a little bit, but I mean, Anne's an angler anyway, and she understands that fishing is my career and everything, and really, she's very good to me in that respect, you know. But it's our living, really, so it's a case of going fishing.
You've also opened a tackle shop.
Yeah, that's going quite well this year as well, yeah. Been in there nearly 2 years now, and that's started picking up a lot. I think people have started noticing I'm there, and they're coming in for advice and everything. It's working all right now.
Denmark, it's a place you've been to fairly regularly, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been a few times, yeah, I love the place. Beautiful.
And what about the fishing?
Oh, the fishing's incredible. I mean, if you want to catch a lot of fish, then you can practically sit down anyway and catch
Would you
a lot of
normally
fish.
come on the river on a session over in Denmark?
If you want to catch a mixture of fish, like roach and bream, yes, I would, yeah. And if you like flowing water, then if you come to the Gulden, it's perfect. But if you just want to catch mainly bream, then I think I would go into the river system, into the lake system, and fish that.
Anyway, 7 or 8 fish already. You're well on the way, aren't you?
Well, I think Bill's got a few as well, and it's neck and neck, which makes it a good match.
So the combined side is doing well?
Yes, they're doing well, especially the Irish lads. They're fishing brilliantly, aren't they?
They are,
It's
yeah.
just smashing.
Yeah.
In fact, I changed my name to Patrick Murphy after the 3rd week.
Hoping you could get a draw on their side.
And then English lads won last week, so I've had to change it back.
No, it's not England. Those aren't the Anne Hathaway tea rooms. We're still in Denmark, and in fact, we've moved a little further north to the town of Viborg, or indeed the lake outside the town. Town itself, an 8th century town, still a centre of commerce today in this hugely agricultural area. It features a magnificent granite cathedral where the recalcitrant angler can apologise for his sins and pray to God for a big one. The recent angling history of this lake is an interesting one. For generations, the locals would fish for pike and zander, which they prize highly as table fish here. From time to time, they'd get stuck into a fish that would break them off, and they just assumed that it was a big pike or a big zander. And it wasn't until British anglers arrived here quite recently and thought, could there be carp here? And then proved it, that this was established as a carp fishery. The specimen hunter is a breed apart, prepared to drop everything at a moment's notice and travel anywhere, anytime, at any cost, just for the chance of getting a really big fish. Our specimen hunter arrived early in the morning at Billund Airport in the heart of the Danish Lake District. That's the airport you'll find most convenient if you want to come here and fish too. He arrived complete with Sherpa, bivouac, and fishing rods, and he established base camp just over there.